this, boys.
Welcome back to the Teahouse podcast. This is episode 2. And if you've made it this far, then I congratulate you. I'm your host, Lincoln, and I'm joined again by my co-hosts, Blake and Jay. And if you noticed by watching the intro, me and Blake were actually wearing the same corduroy jacket, so we had to do a bit of a switch up there.
I don't want to get too into it, but we are at his house, next to his closet.
For those who don't know, Blake actually copied me buying that. I wanted to just quickly introduce a little bit more about ourselves in this podcast, and more around the how we drink our teas. I think it's very, very fitting for this podcast that we all tell everyone how we like our teas, because everyone's different.
Yeah.
And I feel like it builds a bit of personality around who we are.
You know the psychos when you say them.
Yeah. So for me, I'm a man of a little bit of a milkier kind of tea with 2 sugars.
Jesus.
Not too tasty, but not too watered down.
So it's just the norm then. I'm more of I'm not much of a tea drinker, so I'm more of a bit milky, 5 to 6 sugars minimum. Smack. That's what you want. You need that nice sugar hit with that shitty tea taste to break it down. You know what I mean? Like I'm not much. I can't sit back. Oh, this is nice. Like I'm not a fan.
Let's just recap that. I made his cup of tea before and he had 5 sugars.
Yeah. Jay is like the living person of that meme, that TikTok meme of that lady making the teas and stuff.
What do you mean? It's normal. It's just a couple of sugars, mate. Jesus.
He also microwaves his tea, so.
Yes.
Blake, how do you have your tea?
Splash of milk, only a splash. 1 sugar, drenched well. I have to admit, I'm not really impressed with this one that you've made.
Really? I was actually going to get your feedback on my tea making. How was it?
When you grow up and get some personality with your tea, mate. Your tea describes your personality. Yours is so bland.
That is true. Keely is the exact same. She doesn't have any sugar in her tea and she has no soul, so same with you, mate.
I know her style. It's good.
All right.
Good tea though.
So I just wanted to get into things. I was taking a shower the other day on my day off. Had a bit of a sleep in, was ready to go, and walk in to go into the shower, and I absolutely booted under the shower door, and took a chunk out of my foot. I was like, "You motherfucker!" And it just made me think when I was in the shower. I was just reminiscing about it, and I was like, I remember when I was no more than 10, and I was getting in the shower, and I closed the door behind me, and kind of did the same thing, and it took a chunk out of my heel. I was like, "Fuck." I just thought, you hurt yourself so much when you're younger compared to now.
If I stubbed my toe now, I'd have the next week off work.
Definitely, 100%. Sorry. And I remember when I was probably around the same age because I was at the same house actually. There was a bush behind where I was living, and there was this. It was just hella dangerous. If you looked at it now, you'd be like, "What the fuck is that?" It was a tree, and it was on a hill, and it had a huge drop off, and on the drop off it wasn't just dirt, it was broken rocks, shattered pipe, just a danger zone. And it was a tree swing was attached to this huge tree, and what you would do is you would swing around the drop off and come around the other side. And I was young as, and I used to just go with my brother and his mates, and then I did it right, and it just had to happen to me. There was this little twig that just stuck out of the tree, and when I came around, the rope got caught on the twig and whiplashed me, no shit, and I just spiraled into backflips and just face planted on the ground.
Wow.
I reckon it was honestly the weirdest thing ever. And when you're just in instant shock when you're a kid, when you hurt yourself. Yeah, so I got up, just looked around, and my brother and my brother's just "Oh my god, what is?" Everyone was just freaking out, and I didn't know what happened. And I look at my finger, and it's just sliced open. I didn't start crying until I saw this slice on my finger. It was just pouring out blood. Yeah, and then I cried myself all the walk home, just screaming.
It's funny. I feel like you always cry once you see the actual initial.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I broke my arm, I was wrestling with all my mates back in I can't even remember what it was, but it was that funny. So we went to this athletics camp thing. So we had to travel all the way to Albury or somewhere like that. And you stayed overnight because obviously it was far away from where we were. So you stayed overnight, and then we did the athletics tournament the next day. But that night, all boys in the same room, wrestling each other, like hitting each other with chairs.
Yeah, just your usual.
Slamming each other. Yeah, and then as soon as I got slammed on the bed, Batista bombed too, I just remember it. And then I put my arms back to save myself, and then next minute, my elbow, I just remember seeing it in a different sort of direction. I was like, oh no, sitting there, but no one believed me. I'm like, my arm's broken, go get the teachers. Everyone's like, yeah, sack tap him.
Classic Blake.
He's alright.
Sack tap him. Someone was like, sack tap him. And then as soon as someone said that, I started crying because no one believed me. Not a single person believed me. No one was like, oh, help him. Oh, sack tap him, bro. So, had to get me brand new athletics jumper cut off.
Really?
Yeah, I was spewing. You know how cool they were to school? Everyone was wearing them and shit. I'm just like, yo.
Did you wear yours after the incident? It was just like cut. You wore it as like a.
No, they cut me out of it. The whole thing was fucked.
That's actually cool.
My story deal with pain. When I was a little kid, about 3 or 4 years old, my dad put me on top of his car. I had the family over and stuff, and I was a bit blind one eye, so my uncle's at the end of the driveway, right? I was like, catch me. So I jumped off like full on Superman, jump like boom, smack my chin straight in the ground. And my dad was like, what are you doing? He was nowhere near. He was on the other end of the drive. I was like, oh, so yeah, I busted my chin and my family found out I'm blind one eye. Win-win.
That is so good.
Like it was the worst thing. Like that's why I got a bit of scarring underneath here. But I feel like if I did that now though, it wouldn't be as bad.
So why you got scared of heights to this day?
Oh, shocking. Bunk beds, not me.
Yeah.
Top bunk, fuck that off.
That actually reminds me of another story. I was like, I don't even know, we were just getting driven around on a trailer, like 3 of us.
Yeah.
And then I thought, everyone got off except me, and I thought my mum was like going to drive on the highway. So I like panicked while she was driving and like hopped off the trailer. And like at that age, I didn't realize that if you just jump straight off while the car's moving, you're just gonna like tumble.
Yeah.
So I tumbled and then went under the trailer. And mum drove over me. And then I just like ran back to the driveway and I was like, you know when you're a kid and you like get hurt, but you like just like act like nothing happened?
Yeah.
Yeah. My stepdad was like, that was silly, wasn't it? I was like, yep. Oh shit.
As now though, I feel like pain is not as bad because as a kid you can't choose to ignore pain, but now you've got that thing in your head, be like, okay, it hurts, but you can keep pushing through.
Yeah.
Like, do you get that at all? Like, if you say you hurt something, like, oh, the show rolls on, like, you gotta.
At work a lot.
Yeah, I feel like I was a big crier when I was young.
Yeah, you look like one.
Ouch. No, but I used to, and then yeah, I feel like injuries impact your life more when you're older. So you try not to do them as much.
Because, yeah, you have got that fear thing stuck in there. You're like, okay, if that happens, I'm fucked.
Is it also because like you have that thing in the back of your head, oh, if I injure myself, I have no work for the next week?
Exactly.
Like I've started skateboarding, I'm that scared to like sprain my ankle because that's like a huge injury that happens.
It'd be really hard to take photos after that.
Yeah, would man. I feel like we should get into our first segment. So recently in social media, something really bad has happened with TikTok that first got a hold of it. So a boy committed suicide live on stream on a Facebook live video. I first heard about this the other day. My work, I have like a group chat, and she warned us. She's like, "Oh, just letting everyone know there's a video around TikTok happening. That's getting posted around of him killing himself." And yeah, I reckon that's just like fucked up.
Yeah, no, it's sort of it is messed up, but I feel like it won't be the first nor the last in this sort of generation in general, because that sort of stuff seems to be, I don't know.
Well, people can't, like, Facebook can't really censor it. It's something, like, how is Facebook going to know that you're going to kill yourself?
On camera.
On camera.
The whole point is, it's a live thing. It's like...
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure if it was posted straight away, it would have been, like, quickly censored. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes shit doesn't get censored for ages.
On the plus side, though, it can create awareness. I guess if there was ever a positive coming out of that situation, it can be awareness.
Yeah. In a way, but in saying that, would it just be like, or like, would it like not convince, what's a good word for it? Like, idolize, like people that already want to do that sort of thing or have like sort of dark things that they want to do to themselves, are they going to try and do it online now because it's sort of like a trend?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and younger people are getting on, which are more impressionable. Like, if we look at that stuff, we'd be like, yeah, fair enough. But you see over the generations, younger people are getting on social media, and they see it, and Yeah.
Well, I know now I see that shit and I think it's fucked up. So I couldn't imagine, you know, like there's like 6-year-olds on Facebook now. So imagine a 6-year-old seeing that. Like they wouldn't even know that was probably possible at that age. You know what I mean? Seeing like something so gruesomely. You probably see it in like they probably see it in movies maybe, and then they see that like it's pretty crazy stuff.
Yeah, it's different. Like when we were younger, we saw a woman eat her dirty tampon. We're like, that's mental. Now that's nothing compared to what on the internet.
We've sort of got warmed up to it, didn't we? Like, we've seen it over the years from the different like stages of what would you call it?
Just gradual.
Different stages of like technology coming through, sort of thing. Like I mean, like MySpace era, then the Snapchat era, then the Instagram era, like all that shit.
Our generation has actually probably been the most, what would you say, like evolved in social media. Like think about it, when we were kids there was like nothing, and now like I remember getting MySpace for the first time and I was like, this is so weird. Like remember MSN? Oh my god, how good was MSN?
Bring back MSN 2020.
Have your girlfriend in your bio with a heart next to it.
And like I always used to like try and get the most words that could like change. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like they all had their own little emoji things. Yeah, so weird. Yeah, and then so what was it? MySpace. What happened to MySpace? Did that like just die off or?
No, Tom's still kicking.
Got bought out, didn't it?
I'm not actually sure.
Or no, Facebook came and just absolutely destroyed it.
Yeah, took it for a run. Yeah. But I tell you what, things I do miss about MySpace: music on your profile, right? If Facebook wants to fucking, you know.
I feel like that'd cause problems. Imagine having a top 10 now, top 10 friends. Imagine that. In this day and era, everyone would be crying, sucking, like, I don't know.
Top 10 friends. What about PC for PC? Picture comment for picture comment? Remember that? That is so good.
True.
What happened to those days? They were the golden days.
Like this pic and you'll get a TBH.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. Remember like for likes? Does the younger generation still do that though?
Surely.
No.
Because we've grown out of it, we probably never see it on like our friends do it, but
I've actually seen it still come up every now.
What, someone our age doing it? Surely not.
Surely a hack.
What do you mean? Everyone our age having kids and stuff, they're not doing that.
It's a hard toss up. It's like you're either completely cooked and living it up overseas, right? Well, not right now, but or you got a kid and you have a house, settle down.
Doing that for like.
there's like the huge two differences in it. It's like it's either like they've already had 3 kids and like settled down, or they're traveling everywhere and
0-100.
well, there's people like you, Blake, and you're just kind of in the middle of that.
What?
Where you like you don't have it, you haven't done travel yet. Oh, actually, you've travelled.
Fuck no, travel.
So more like Jay, that people are like at uni. You know what I mean? Some people are still at uni, like that are just going through.
This means war.
Who?
So this means no.
But yeah, all in all, it's kind of fucked up that all that shit's happening. And like, I feel when I was on like originally Facebook, you never saw that as much. I don't think. I can't remember seeing it as much.
Depends what pages you like and stuff. I saw a lot of pretty fun shit.
Yeah, but like you're right. When the weird stuff was happening, there were like weird trends. For example, that girl eating her tampon and stuff. That was such a weird time. Can you remember like any?
I feel like heaps of stuff came out of that period too. I feel like it was like that, and then all of a sudden heaps of people were doing gross shit. Yeah. But then the internet's a pretty savage place too, though. Like I remember the memes outlived her for sure. Like she got memes for like.
Yeah, for a solid while, but no one knows her name. Like,
I can't think of it now.
Isn't it Giovanna?
Planning. Yep. We do know the name. Yeah. Shout out.
It was like in my head. I just like.
Shout out. We're bringing you back.
She's a big fan. She'll be watching. Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, so I guess there's something similar in growing up and stuff. Like being in school, you're constantly taught all these things. And I was actually reading an article, and this is what made me think about it, that in school you're taught to obey the rules. Whereas like, you know what I mean, in life it's like nothing about rules, you know what I mean? You're not taught about growing up at all, and you kind of have to work everything out yourself. I think parents are such a big help in that, because they're like the only influence a lot of people have in like what to do, you know what I mean? I think my dad has like helped me so much in like things in like life lessons than school like has ever taught me. All school teaches you is to get in a a 9 to 5, you know what I mean, kind of thing.
Routine. Raise you to work.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
That's exactly what it is too, because it basically created school systems, well, not created school systems, but like we've had the same school system basically for 100 years, and how much has the world changed in 100? Like, not everyone's working in plants and shit anymore. Like, well, a lot of people do, but that's basically like what it was, wasn't it? Like to get people, yes sir, no sir.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I think with social media being such a big influence now, we're seeing a lot more people become like entrepreneurs and branching out in different ways and like opening businesses that never existed in like so many different aspects.
Free advertising, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas compared to, for example, like my grandpa, he started working when he was 15, you know what I mean, to support his family. Like, and he was always, you know, on my back about getting a job and all that stuff. Whereas ever since like I got my first job at 15 at Macca's, I always knew that I was never gonna be the person to do like a 9 to 5 job. It just isn't me. And
Not for everyone, yeah, exactly.
yeah, but for some people it is. Some people love getting that routine, working 9 to 5, steady job.
So it's all they know in a sense. You think their family, their parents have done the same thing, their parents' it's
It's how we're raised to think that's successful in a way, isn't it? Like that's how people view success these, like a lot of people anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
it's in your pocket.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is like a weird age too, because like you're taught to go for things that you can sort of achieve, not like what you dream to. What would you prefer to do, like in a way?
That's it. That's like a perfect example. Like through school, you put in certain subjects, and like that's your path that they kind of
Train the mind and just keep you on a course.
Whereas they never be like, all right, guys, you can be anything you want to be. You just put your mind to it and you can do it. Whereas like that's what my dad has told me since I was a kid. You know what I mean? There's no limit on what you can actually achieve or what you can do.
Well, I remember in prep, they always told you, I always asked you, what do you want to be? I always said astronaut, but they never did anything for me to learn to be an astronaut in school. So therefore, it could never happen.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
They put the bricks on, dude.
Exactly. Think lower.
You could be the Australian fucking Neil Armstrong.
Imagine that.
It'd be cool if like schools started implementing in like a business mentor class. I feel like that would be...
Yeah, they sort of like, in a way, they're getting a little bit better in the sense, like there are a lot more subjects today than obviously...
Adapting over time, in a sense, yeah? Would you say that?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like a big part of it would probably be the teachers that they have working there. I know I'd done like a thing at a school, like a working gig, and I originally wanted to be a teacher because I wanted to teach media, so like what I know, and just going to school and seeing how the kids, because I did a workshop there, so I taught the kids a class, and you realize like how much kids don't actually want to be there. And I was like, I could not do this for the rest of my life, teaching kids that don't even want to be taught. Yeah. You know what I mean? It'd be the most unrewarding job ever.
But if you get like the ones that obviously do, then that's the thing too. Like I feel like a lot of like too many people these days try and pick careers that aren't them because of the money. Like that's like the main consequence that they're after is a high paying job instead of finding real pleasure out of what they're actually.
Yeah, I could not agree more.
Seek money, not happiness. Here you go, make sacrifices.
Yeah, literally.
I don't know how people can do that. Like I've done that, and I get so bored in jobs. Like after like 2 years, I'm like, I hate this job. Like I actually physically and mentally can't do it. Like I end up hating it, and it makes me have a really bad work mentality.
Yeah.
What do you call it?
Makes you want to do ethic. Makes you want to
Yeah,
do
work
less.
ethic. It like puts down my work ethic because I don't care.
Yeah.
But like if it's something you're passionate about, you're gonna work as hard as you can because you love it. You know what I mean?
Doesn't matter, pay nothing. As long as you love it, you're going to stick to it.
Exactly right.
But you'll probably be, that's the thing too though, that's where the pay and stuff sort of comes later, because if you truly love something, you're going to be truly good at it, and you'll definitely be compensated eventually, or if you work for yourself.
Exactly. But I completely agree. Now, kind of an interesting subject that we wanted to bring up is clairvoyancy. I don't actually think clairvoyancy is a word, but clairvoyance. We have a direct definition because I wasn't actually sure what that actually meant exactly. And a clairvoyance is the claimed ability to gain information about an object, person, location, or physical event through extrasensory perception. So in normal terms, I think that means he's like making contact with
The other side, pretty much.
the other side. That's exactly right.
So LSD, in other words.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I guess.
A lot of people actually take like LSD for stuff like that, like a paint.
DMT and stuff like that, yeah.
Like painters love doing that, so they do different work when they're on different kind of hallucinogenics.
Hallucinogenics, yeah.
You talking about commercial painters or like artists?
Yeah, just your painters and decorators, mate.
Does anyone have any stories about any clairvoyance?
Yeah, I actually do. My uncle, he back in the day, used to be a normal fella. Then he met this bloke named Dave. Dave is a shaman in the western suburbs. A shaman.
Is that a male
From the
clairvoyant?
western suburbs.
From the western suburbs. Yeah, it's a Dave from St Albans. Nah, this bloke shamans are meant to be like, you know, like Year One, the movie with Jack Black and stuff. The person in the tent wearing the skull and bones and stuff, and yeah, one of those blokes.
Yeah. Modern day shaman.
Yeah, modern day shaman.
Shaman from the west.
Yeah.
That's his business name. You walk in, shaman from the west.
You
on the
see
wall.
Dave carrying his hand trackies on and shit. And all of a sudden, like, he kept telling me, Uncle, oh, start, what's it called when you sit, meditate more, you know, you start speaking to your spirit. And my uncle comes back after, he's like, I've seen him first time in ages. He's like, you should see what I got up to, mate, speaking to dragons and Jesus. And I was like, bullshit, are you serious? He was like, yeah, Jesus, mate, told me to love everyone. And I just thought nothing of it. I'm just kicking back, like, yeah, fair enough, fuck with. Like, just, yeah, keep going on. Then, then a couple of days later, I'm playing cards with my cousin and my nonna. That's what we do. We just sit around, play a bit of cards. Sitting around the table, he walks around to us, just eyeing us off. Next minute. There was something floating above your head, mate. Don't worry, I scared it off from you. He's like pointing around, see it, look, it's following this thing, he's just pointing at nothing. We're just all looking at him like, are you serious? Like, what are you pointing at? No, don't worry, mate, I got you. Then he was like, come outside when you're done the cards. Come outside. He was like, mate, this is for your protection. Starts burning some sage.
What?
Burning sage around me, smoking shit. I'm like, what are you doing, mate? I can smell that's bad.
Was it weed or what?
No, it was sage, bro. He's like, don't, this is not stuff I buy from the store, mate. I grew this myself. This is a good bit of love. Like, fooling around me and shit. Like, he is absolutely full tripping. Like, he speaks to all. I'm like, I just couldn't believe it. Like,
Do you think it's real? Do you reckon he's making connections?
well, if he can, good on him. But like, I don't know. Like, he scared the shit out of me when he clapped over above my head.
I think he thinks that.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, imagine speaking to Jesus and stuff.
Do you reckon he hears voices?
Maybe. Like, apparently, but like, allegedly. I don't know. But then again, if I was like that, I'd use that in my personal gain. Like, where's the money buried? Like, as if you want to try and find money and shit, get the spirits to talk to you. Try and find some
Because
stuff.
when they, mate, because they're not obsessed with material things, mate. All right, they got the third eye, bro.
But you don't know though, do you? Yeah, you know, you could be talking to like a millionaire that's obsessed with money. Why isn't he telling you secrets?
Yeah, true.
I seen like this online article, and this was like a mystery thing, and this is kind of off topic, but you just reminded me of it. So they released an online article, and it was like 7 different clues to treasures that were buried around the world. And I don't know, this was released like 20 years ago, and only like 2 of the 7 treasures have been found. It's just like photos, and people have to like decipher it and figure it out where it is.
Jay's uncle.
Yeah, Jay's
Yeah, my
uncle.
uncle, yeah, Dave
He
Sharman.
he found treasure 1. Have you got any stories about any?
At clairvoyance.
Yeah. Have you like?
I've never even been to a psychic or anything like that. My mum loves them. My mum actually gets around massive.
So does Keely's and Nana. I'm so scared to ever go to one. Like, I don't want to know. I don't want to know my future because then I feel like you're expecting it.
Well, it can change your pathway in a sense. Since you're expecting it, you know, oh, okay, so you make decisions leading to that instead.
Butterfly effect.
But I feel like it would always have. It'd be always in the back of your mind that it would be like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like it's better just to not know. Which is pretty crazy how, because some people are actually pretty good. So Keely's Nana went to one the other day and she said one of your grandkids will have a child in the next 2 years. And I was like, I'm a bit scared now.
You should be. You just bought a house.
Yeah. Things are adding up. Things are...
I find that to be a generalisation though, like...
Well, yeah.
The chances of growing, like you talk to someone's grandma, the chances of them having grandkids that are like a bit growing up, it's a... Like, I don't know. I could say that.
It's pretty crazy. Apparently she like predicted some stuff that were like actually happening though, which is a bit spooky. And it kind of leads me to like a thing, like it's so hard. I'm like a firm believer in seeing and believing, and I'm sure they would change my mind when seeing them. But I hear these stories all the time where, because like obviously people use it as like a big money grab, being a clairvoyant and stuff. And there was a story of a lady or a guy. She obviously was in that industry, and this person actually made up a fake article about a family member that had died or something. And then he went to the clairvoyant and was like, oh, can you tell me some stuff about this family member? And everything that the person wrote in the article, the clairvoyant was saying to him. And then after it, the guy was just like, yeah, I made all of this up. This person doesn't even exist. So the clairvoyant, to get their information, had just Googled a family member that had died, obviously, to that person. Yeah. And like, it was like on video, and it was just such an awkward thing to watch. The person being caught out. You know what I mean?
I would hate to watch that. That would be the worst.
Imagine being that person. Do you reckon they just shut down business straight after that and just disappeared?
I reckon they're pretty like legit though, to be honest.
Yeah, I reckon.
Because like they said my mum had like a Viking son.
A Viking son.
Like, and look at me,
Shout out to Cage.
pure Viking.
Kate has definitely got the Viking in him.
Yeah,
He's really,
yeah.
I can definitely see that. He definitely got the genes.
You missed out, mate.
And that about wraps things up for episode 2 of the Teahouse podcast. Thank you everyone for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in episode 3.